Hello everybody and welcome to the very first Osmo tutorial. My name is Johnny and I'm so excited to be playing with you and working you through this brand new game, Math Wizard and the Magical Workshop. It's brand new to the Osmo line of games and I gotta tell you, it's a ton of fun. So if you're not familiar with Osmo, it is a company that makes games for children and educators that are all screen as well as physical based, so it's all intuitive as well as educational and most importantly very fun. Today we're going to be focusing on, as I said, the Math Wizard line, focusing specifically on the Magical Workshop aspect. We're going to be joining this little guy Mumbles the Great as he goes to Mathmagica and explores the magical world of potions today. It's extremely fun and I'm excited to walk you through it. Osmo doesn't just have math going on, it has a bunch of other games. You could focus on coding, you could focus on geography, literacy, whatever your child needs in order to become the best and most confident version of themselves. There is a game here that can lend themselves to that skill set. I love to do it because I have been working with 5th graders as a mentor for the past 7 years, as well as I've been with a family as a nanny from the ages kindergarten all the way now through 5th grade. So I've seen firsthand how the games like this really do benefit children, and I love Osmo in particular because it is all self-paced. You're able to adjust difficulty and choose certain levels depending on the skill set day by day. So Casey, one of the kids that I worked for, would have really benefited from this because some days he was an absolute magician, other days he was just an apprentice, and that is totally fine and totally fun, and this is a way to really help them build curriculum-based skills at a pace that is super important to them. So I would love to get started and introduce you to this brand new game. So the first thing you're going to do is check out the beautiful box. Very fun, very cool. But the best part is what's inside. You're going to find this kind of almost hocus-pocusy spellbook box. You're going to place it flat down, open it just like you would a spellbook. We're going to have a full experience, my friends. And when you open it up, you're going to find this almost scroll-like page over here on the left flap, the opening. And it's going to give you a few things that you're going to need to set up this game. There's only 4 things that you're going to absolutely need. The first is going to be the Osmo base, which doesn't come with this, but it does come with some of the larger, more established things, such as the Genius Starter Kit. And now the base is comprising of 2 parts. You have this white holder right here, the actual base, which you place your tablet in. You can line up your home screen with these 3 little dots at the bottom right here, and then you take the reflector, which I'm actually always impressed by. It covers up the camera, and you can line it up with, there's a little red line down there to help you line it up perfectly. If the reflector is not lined up, you're not going to have as much success. So you line up your reflector, you set up your base, you're in business. Next, you're going to obviously need a compatible device for Osmo. Right now I'm using an iPad. Almost all the generations work, as well as Fire tablets. You can check out the website, playosmo.com, to see which tablets and which devices are going to be best suited. Luckily, it covers so many different generations and options, so you should be in business. Next, you're going to need to connect to the internet, which if you're watching this video, I think you're already onto that, so fingers crossed, because when you're onto the internet, you need to download this Osmo app in order to play all the different games. Okay, so in order to download it, you can check out this middle row right here under instructions, and that's going to lead you to the different websites that you're going to need to go to, depending on which tablet or which device that you're using. Now, we're going to get to the fun stuff, the physical stuff. I've worked with so many kids, and I know that they're really good with screens, and sometimes, though, it can really suck them in. So to have a physical component, I think, is really important and special, so that way they can realize it doesn't all have to exist here. There's a whole world of fun things to play with that can coincide with this world as well. So the first thing you're going to get is this postcard. Mine is for Wervendale because that is what comes with the Magical Workshop. Each postcard is going to unlock certain levels or characters throughout the game, in Mathemagica or the coinciding worlds. So you really want to hold on to these, both as souvenirs, but also a way to unlock all the magic that can happen inside the game. The next thing you're going to need is your spell book. Because we are making potions, spells are very important. This is a game that's exclusively about addition and subtraction. So we're going to need to add and subtract certain amounts of different ingredients, and the only way to really keep track of that is with a spell book. So on the first page, we have the self-portrait. Now, your child can totally draw a very accurate self-portrait if that's what they're feeling, or if they're like me, they can come up with something kind of crazy like a dragon, or I don't know, if they want to draw a picture of Miley Cyrus. Whatever comes to mind that day, that moment they want to represent themselves with is totally cool, because self-expression is very much encouraged at Osmo. Much like the belongs to part right down here, you can absolutely write your own name so everybody knows if it gets lost where to return it, or you can use the name that you created with your user account. Mine, for example, is Smarty McFly. I love Back to the Future. The things that are going to come in handy with your spellbook are these two different sticker sets. These are the ingredients that make all of the potions within the Magic Lab. So, on our subtraction sheet, you're going to find a little lightning bug or glowworm, some unicorn poop, which I think is going to be a lot of kids' favorite, this ruby, a shooting star, or a dragon's egg. This is for the nighttime, the subtraction side. And this is an eyeball, a dragon's claw, a mushroom, a little red flower, and a purple feather. All of these are going to be really important as we move forward in the game as we learn new spells. Because inside the book, you're going to find 10 different pages with the name of the potion that you're trying to make, a picture of what it can do, because that's always fun to see and important for visual learners. And then down here, we have a pink circle and a blue circle on every page. And depending on what you learn in our potions lab, which we'll get to soon, you need to put the corresponding sticker onto that page, because if you don't, you're not going to have the potions, and this effect will not happen, and that's a bummer. The final thing that we're going to need for the mixing is the mixing board. You can't make a potion without a potion mixing board. So we have our pink column, which corresponds to those pink circles I just showed you. A blue column, which is going to be for the blue column. All the ingredients are listed up here on this spinning wheel. And down at the bottom is where we'd make our answers. So our sums or our differences are going to go down here in the glittering stars. On the back, you have your nighttime, as well as the front, our daytime. The back is going to be for subtraction, and the daytime is going to be for addition. And the only way that we're going to be able to do subtraction and addition is using the physical components that I'm so excited about. Right now, in your kit, you'll have 28 of these red cubes, each counting by 1, or you can have our blue sticks, which are, there are going to be 6 of those, and they all add up to 10. These are really helpful, I have found, working with children, to teach shortcuts and ways to move quicker through math. So as we get higher in the levels and the advance, we're going to use more of the blue sticks, whereas the earlier stages and earlier levels are going to predominantly use these red little cubes. So, I have now shown you a little bit about, or actually all of what comes with the box. It's beautiful and straightforward, and I'd love to take you with me to Mathemagica. Here we go, my friends. So, every single time that you play, you start out at the Sky Castle. The Sky Castle is absolutely customizable because every single person has a different view of what they're trying to achieve in their space or what they want to be close to. And so we use our postcard at the very beginning to set up the world that we want to create. So I move my little mixing board out of the way. I go to the center column, which should be the only column that you have available, and I click Add Postcard. The two colors that I really think are helpful to keep track of are orange and blue throughout this game, because those are the two colors of the buttons you're going to push. So I push this orange Add Postcard down here, and the reflector is really receptive, which I think is very helpful for me, for someone who can sometimes be a little bit messy. The reflector holds me accountable, because if I don't have my postcard in the right spot like that, it's not going to get picked up and it's not going to do the appropriate action. So I move it right in, And I've already set up my base, so I will show you where I placed it. I put my potions lab right here because I know I'm going to be wanting to go there all the time to play the game. But also, they hooked me up with this Wervendale because I got an airport, which is very cool. I put it all the way on the end, though, because I don't want any of these floating hippos or airplanes crashing into my beautiful tower as I build it higher and higher. So once your child has established where they want their buildings to be or their special rooms to go, we can start playing the game. So I put my postcard in a nice safe place, and I check into the potions lab that I just built. You'll see this little character here, Jumbles, is super cute, and he's got giant eyes and a little blue star floating above his head. So I click the blue star, and it allows me to play the potions game. So orange button, push play, let it load, and here we go, my friends. All right. So once again, we push the orange button to click play. I've had some practice. I've worked through the first 2 levels for the most part, just so I can really help you out. And now we push the blue play button over the potions lab, and I'll take you to day 2 so we can see what is up. There's Mumbles. Mumbles is very old. He is trying to retire. That's what your job is as the child.
I hope it's not my fault.
I love Jumble so much. He's got gigantic eyes. He's so sweet, but he's a bit of a mess, so he really needs your help because his cousin Grumbles, who looks like a crazy person, she is causing all of the people in the village to have maladies. So some of these people have just gotten way bigger, even for this elephant. So in order to help these people, we need to click
Place your mixing mat
above their head on the floating question mark. And now look, you can see that because I don't have my mixing mat in front of my base, it's not going to let me play the game. So I need to make sure that it's the right appropriate side that's featured in the picture. I place it directly underneath so it lines up just like they want me to. And now I'm able to play. So in order to find out which potion I need to make in order to get these people to shrink, I have to click on this bottom right-hand corner. There's going to be a purple circle. I need a shrinking potion, which tells me I need to have a mushroom and a feather. So the mushroom is in the first circle, which means it's the pink column. The feather is in the blue column because it's in the second circle. So I look in my spell book. I find shrinking potion right here, as you can see. And I'm going to take from my white sheet because we are doing addition. I'm going to take a mushroom out. Oh my gosh, this feels really permanent. And then I take a feather. And now I can go around town telling everybody, if you want to shrink, you need to have a mushroom and a feather. So this is going to be handy dandy for your child. Now we move on to the actual math. So in the first column, you'll see in this bottom box, it says 1. So I need to use one of my little cubes, place it there. You'll notice if it's not in the correct column, it won't show up floating here, but I do see a floating mushroom, and that means we're in business. Then in the blue column, it's asking me for 3. My feather is not lined up appropriately. Now it's fixed, and now we can do it. So 1, 2, 3. They all showed up, so I can move on to the next step. And then I realize 1 plus 3 equals 4. The game is really intuitive, and it will tell you, or it can tell when your child is not moving at a certain pace, and it will offer tips and tricks and help like that. So when I see I have got 4 glowing stars in the bottom, I can push this orange button, the check mark. I always cross my fingers because even though it's 1 plus 3, I don't know, I get nervous until I see them shrink. I'm trying to help these elephants. Success. Whew. All right. Oh, it feels so good to help people. But now, 1 plus 3 is a little bit easy for me. I'm an adult. It might be easy for your child who is, 7. So I can go back, and up here in the top left-hand corner, I'm going to push this gear button, it'll take me to a place where I can adjust the sound or some of the effects, but I want to click the second purple oval right here, which is set difficulty. It's going to ask to be handed over to an adult because I said this is all about letting the kid go at their own pace, so they don't even need to know what level they're at because it doesn't really matter. They can learn as they go. So right now, I was on level 1, Apprentice, and that is the first level. It's going to pretty much add up things to 10, so smaller numbers, not really using the blue. We can go to Magician, which is mid-level, which is going to be using some of the blue, a mixture of it all. And then we're going to go to the Wizard, which is the hardest one. That means that we're going to probably use way more blocks. There's going to be different options, and we're going to have to use process of elimination. So I'm feeling really smart right now, and I would love to set it to Wizard. Now that you've set your settings, you can pass it back to your child, and they can thrive. Now, Math Wizard is going to be for ages about 6 to 8, I would say, grades 1 to 2. But as I just showed you, you can set the difficulty. So if there's a younger person who wants to play, they can totally use the apprentice level. Or if there's an older kid who needs to just practice, you can totally put them at the magician level. And I mean, I've messed up a bunch, so there's nobody who wouldn't be serviced from this. So let's go to day 5. I will show you. Okay, so we've got a mixture of people, so everybody's going to need a different potion, so we're going to have to adjust as we go. So I just made someone grow or shrink, so I want to see this. I don't even know if you can see her, she's so tiny. This tiny fox, she has to get bigger. And this is something I wanted to show you about the difficulty. As you can see in our pink column, we have 3 options, a 9, a 4, or a 3, that we're going to add to 8 to either get 11, 16, or 10. This is going to be really important because we have to realize we have to do a bunch of math. So we can do 9 plus 8 is going to be 17, and that's not an option at the bottom, so I know that the first column is not going to be 9. 4 plus 8 is also going to be 12. That is not an option at the bottom. But 3 plus 8 is 11, and I think we're onto something. You can work backwards, but I prefer, while we're doing the daytime or the light side of the board, to move with just adding these columns together and then figure out the answer. I'm going to show you subtraction after this. But I move all of my pieces. I put 3 little mushrooms over in the pink. Then I put 8 over in the blue. I'm going to use the first blue stick of the day in the glittering stars and add up to 11. But I have to double check something. We switched potions. This is now a little green potion in the bottom corner, so I'm going to click that to see what ingredients I need, because this will trip you up if you're not paying attention. It's a growth potion, which I check in my spell book or in the corner. Okay, so I've got a monster claw in the pink. All right, where are you? Oh, I love how smooth that goes. Monster claw, and then eyeball. It's always nice to have an even number of eyeballs, I feel. All right, so that seems correct to me. I push my check mark. I cross my fingers as always. Oh, the eyeballs are counting. Yes. Whew. That poor fox was so tiny. And now, she's gonna be so big. Amazing. So now we've played a little bit with the addition aspect of it. And since I've already completed the first level, which is the potions lab, I'm gonna show you what happens when we go over to the next level. Grumbles has really caused a lot of trouble, so we can either go to Lake Nessie right here, which I've unlocked, but eventually we could go all the way to this spooky house or this ice area. No place is safe from Grumbles. So I'm going to take you to Lake Nessie. We're going to do day 6.
Oh no.
Everyone who came here for a sunny vacation is actually in for a big surprise because she caused a lot of trouble. Now, we can see this little raccoon has a dark kind of sad cloud floating over their head. All they want to do is go swimming. And so I push the little question mark, and again, it's intuitive. It will pick up that I'm not on the right side. So I clear my board. I flip over to the nighttime side of things, and the reflector picks it up, and we can move forward. Now, the difference between the light side of the board and the dark side of the board is that you're given different components. So here we have an 11 in the base and a 2 in the red column. So we know that we have to do 11 minus 2 to get the blue. Instead of red plus blue equals purple, we're doing purple minus red equals blue. It's just a way to show that there's different orders and different structures that your child can follow. And these little blocks do come in handy because they can do the math off the board, move it on, figure it out on the board. Whatever method works best for them, they can totally practice with. So I'm going to take, actually, I would love to show you something. So look at this. If I put 11 red cubes in the bottom, there's a shortcut that I missed. And this is a way to teach your child that all of these red cubes, 10 of them, equals 1 stick. It's just like if you were to say, hey, here's 10 pennies, but you could also just use 1 dime, and this is much easier. So this is a fun way that I think kids can learn shortcuts. So I place my 2 there, my 11 down here, and I know that this is going to be 9, but I have missed something once again. I click the bottom right corner to figure out what ingredients I need because it's not going to be the same as the other side. So I need, this is going to be a light potion to get that dark cloud away. So I find my little glowworm, and then I find a shooting star. I know. Your child then will be able to put all of the ingredients in their spell book. Got it. So I take 9 of my little red cubes and I place them in the blue column. So I've got 9 glowworms plus 2 shooting stars should equal 11 glowing little orbs and stars at the bottom. So let's cross our fingers and see if I am right. Okay, I'm feeling really confident about this one. And as I said, everything is self-paced, so your child can mess up as much as they want, move as quickly as they want, whatever they're feeling for the day, whatever abilities they have at the moment. It is so good to let someone get in the water. It's like after eating, you have to wait 20 minutes. She just waited her 20 minutes. The dark cloud is gone. She's hopping in the pool. All right. So that is the basics of playing with the Math Wizard and the Magical Workshop. I am going to be doing tutorials like this throughout the rest of the month. Every Friday we're going to be having a new game. Next week we're going to be doing another Math Wizard game. It's The Secret of the Dragons. And you'll be able to reach out to me through the chat, or there'll be an Osmonaut in the chat as always, as there was today, to answer any questions you have. If you have more questions or you're interested in the game, you can always check out playosmo.com. This is going to be a great gift, I have to be honest, for children in the upcoming holiday season. You can buy it on Amazon, you could go to playosmo.com to purchase it straight through the site, or to find other retailers that do carry it. If you're an educator, there is a School for Osmo program, which also has educator resources. Because it is curriculum-based, it's really nice to trust in a game that is using the same style that you probably are using in school. So when your kids are playing at home or your teacher is studying, it's made for everybody. So thank you so much for joining me. This has been a pleasure. I look forward to the next week because I love playing these games. Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.